Welcome back, everybody, to the Simplecraft server for episode 7. Today's episode, we're going to be doing... I'm not entirely certain what we're doing today. I do know that I want to start doing some stuff with the starter house and getting that all up and going because I want to. I'm not entirely thrilled with. At the end of the previous episode, I thought I was thrilled with the way the building turned out, and I'm not entirely thrilled anymore now that I've gotten to this point, and so I do really like the interior. The floor is phenomenal, so I'm gonna keep the floor the way it is, and I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do in between now and whenever we decide to do it. So let's get into today's episode. So we're not doing a Tower of Shiny because I've not had a chance to do any mining for Tower of Shiny. I feel like I've got plenty of resources to allow for us to be good for a little while. But as you can see, we've done a little bit of a change. So as you can see, we have the shulker box viewing fabric mod on the server. The other thing that we've got access to is our proximity chat mod, and we've got that set up to where we can interact with people on, like, when we're right next to each other and do everything. So we'll have that. Something I do want to do is I want to find a jungle to get some of the cocoa beans, because we need cocoa beans to do some to get some dyes, and that should be the last dye that we don't have access to. But yeah, so I'm not super like I said, I wasn't super thrilled with the house. I do like some of the aspects of it, but some aspects I do want to change and fix up. In terms of the tower, that tower doesn't go anywhere, so I'm probably gonna tear that tower out and just make this an extension off to this side and do another roof portion like what I did on this side. Just have it jut out instead of doing a tower that leads to an observatory, because I honestly don't know how to do the telescope that I wanted to do, and I don't want to just rip someone else's build from their world and put it into mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo this roof section and tear down that, probably is what I'm going to end up doing. I do want to redo some of these logs and these beams, and I'm not entirely certain what I'm going to do, if I'm going to change out the roof for something different and then just use this as a different block. But once I figure it out, we'll go ahead and get into it, and I'll show you the process of that. But for the time being, what I want to do is get some more stuff sorted out, so that way we can have our ender chest set up to be kind of organized in a way that, like, that way we have basically everything that we are gonna need to do basically anything. A little bit of terraforming and whatnot. I do want to also try and get my hands on some concrete powder, which means I'm gonna have to take some shulker boxes to the mining desert and to find ourselves a gravel mountain that we can tear apart and start excavating gravel from. So we'll go ahead and I'll find the locations for those and then head that way, and then we'll do something. I'm not entirely certain. I think we might try and do a time lapse without we'll figure something out in terms of that. But for right now, that is the plan. We're gonna try and redo this portion of the house, and also get our hands on sand and gravel and go from there. So we'll be right back with whichever one we decide to do first. So I'll see you guys in a few moments. Welcome back, guys. So I did a thing. Um, yeah. After I sat there and I looked at it, I wasn't happy with what I had done. Things felt like there was just too many. It was too much of a flat wall, and I needed to find a way to break it up. And in the process of trying to figure out how to do it, I just went ahead and said, I'm gonna try and start that over. So as much as progress as we've made in the last episode, we made no progress. So I went ahead and I tore it down and started a new layout, something that's not going to be as complicated because I just can't seem to figure out how to wrap my head around uh, the somewhat complex shapes that I was going for. And so I'm keeping some of the same elements like the blackstone walls on either side of the glass. I did really like that. Something else that I'm going to be doing is on the exterior, much like I've done on some of my other builds in other seasons of and in previous seasons of Simplecraft and in other games or Minecraft worlds that I've done. I've done something similar to this on the exterior, which, to be honest, looks more like a support, like as if this was a support system for an exterior. And so what I might end up doing is actually blocking this off and making like a porch type thing somewhere, and then building up the thing. The only problem is that that just makes a much larger house because this is already pretty big. So I'll play around with it some more and see where I get with that. But I went ahead and laid out everything just a little bit more and did some concept building, which I then decided that this was the style that I was going to go with. So it is a uh, it's gonna be a bit to figure out. So I'll be back with more in a few. Welcome back, guys. So this is what we've got so far. I'm actually really liking this way more than the previous one, and I'm so glad that I decided to do this. So I'm going for a 2-floor style. The second floor is not going to be a full floor. I've not yet decided uh, on any of the logistics. So through here is probably somewhere around here is where there's going to be a loft like space. Uh and then we're gonna have a staircase or ladder or something going up towards it. But other than that, like I found something that is working, and I do genuinely like this build style, and I don't know why I ever migrated from it into whatever it was I was trying to do. I don't know. I This is where I had my roots, and I'm kind of glad that I went ahead and pulled this back out cuz I do genuinely like the stairs and the fence posts as supports for the logs, and the logs look like they're running horizontally across the build. The only thing I don't know what I want to do is whether or not I want to have the horizontal beams going across through the build, like through this center section. Um, so I'm not entirely certain. However, I did want to pivot towards a different project that we had or that I started sort of as like a let's map out my little village area. And then Aiden and I were sitting in chat one day, and we were just I was just like, I kind of want to to map start mapping out the main area. And so what I did was I grabbed a bunch of maps because I have my cartographers that sell maps and item frames. So I went ahead and bought a bunch of maps and bought a bunch of item frames, and I laid out a 15 by 15 uh, item frame and glowstone map that I will go ahead and start filling out. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and empty my inventory of the stuff that I am using to build with for the time being, and I will go ahead and grab out some maps wherever they might be and grab ourselves some rockets as well because we're almost out of those. And we're just going to map out the a little bit more. And we're also looking, currently, I'm looking for um, more of the, like, I'm looking for deserts and gravel mountains that are far enough away from civilization or away from our main island to. Do we need to trade for some? Is that what's going on? Oh shit! Probably should eat real fast. But I'm looking for deserts and there they are. Deserts and gravel mountains because I do know that I need to get gravel and I need to get uh sand because those two things are going to be very beneficial to have because it's going to allow us to make concrete, which is going to make us allow us to do things like work on our bonsai tree here in hopefully the near future. So we will go ahead and look for those. So this is how I set up my inventory to allow for me to travel and get as many of the maps as possible. And the way I do that is I come over here and I grab whatever map I want to leave from. Uh, and we'll go ahead and grab this one and we'll just go southward this way. So we can see that we are firmly in the map, which means that all we have to do is take off and go this way. And as soon as we leave the map, we can pull out the other map and it'll start filling it out. And we just keep on doing that until we run out of maps. And this allows us to get a better view of the map so we don't have to look down like that and continually try and avoid dive bombing the ground because that's the last thing we want to do is dive bomb the ground and die. We're actually managing to, yeah, pull away from the far edge of the map so that we can. And now that we've got all of those maps, we just find our way, or we just wander our way back, and we slot them into place, and it looks really cool. So we're gonna have a giant map. I'm sure that the more I travel and the more I manage to uh, try and explore, the more I'm gonna want to map it out and map out where I've been and all that. Because honestly, I think that it would be pretty cool to map out basically the entirety of the world that we live in and continually expand on a giant map. That and also having a community build between me and the other members of the Simplecraft server. Like I kind of want to set up a community project where we all go through and I had one too many. Okay, that's good to know. So yeah, that's how I'm filling out the map, and basically as long as I do it in order, everything should line up, and it looks pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a few more rows of these, and then just to give myself some a break uh from the house build, because obviously, like, if I spend all my time doing the house, I'm gonna get burnt out on the house, and I honestly am having a little bit of a creative muse issue where I'm not entirely certain as to where I want the build to go. So I'm going to give my brain some time to chillax and re regather the creative juices and continue filling out a map and flying around and just enjoying the landscape and enjoying the world that we live in, because it is always nice to make sure that we admire the landscape that we have designated to be where we are living for the foreseeable future. And we go back. So, yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and do this for a few more rounds of this, and I'm also going to try and find ourselves a gravel biome and a gravel mountain and a desert that we can start to decimate and tear apart. So as soon as we find one of those, I will make sure that we come right back to. I'm not sure. We might do a mining montage or something. I'm not too certain, but from here we'll figure this out. But yeah, I will catch you guys in a few. Welcome back, guys. So as you can see behind me, I've got a bit done. So I went ahead and I finished up the house, and by far I like this way better. Let's get a good aerial view of it. Uh, this worked out so much better than could have ever anticipated, and I it looks way better. So let's take a look on the inside, because the inside I've also done a fair bit too. So I added some light because things were starting to spawn, and that was not good. But as you can see, I've got windows on both floors. I've got a pseudo bridge. I didn't complete it because I like the fact that you jump across it, because there's also stairs on both sides, so it doesn't matter. Uh, and it will definitely do for a starter house. So in the next episode, we will start to move things in uh, and around it, that are around it. All of this stuff over here, we'll get it moved in and find a good space for it. We'll probably get a good smelter up and going and everything like that. So a little bit of some stuff to going on, but what we'll have to do next is, there are a couple of things actually. So as you can see, I went ahead and got a big plus of the island, and it is a good chunk of the continent that we're playing on. I think the continent goes a little bit further this way, and a little bit further this way, and then quite a bit further up this way as well. As you can see, we got into the ice area, and then there's a tundra up here somewhere. And then I think this right here is the desert that is at the foot the uh of the continent. But this is where we all landed when we came to the island at first. I think this is where someone is building. I'm not entirely certain. I didn't see anything initially, but I could be wrong. And then definitely, I think I do believe this over here is in fact the desert that's at the that's part of the continent, and I think that might be our mining desert, just because the number of people who are on the server is not a great number, and there's always things that we can do to make things look better, uh, to avoid it looking like really bad. So we're gonna go ahead and head that way We'll map out this bottom corner and also do a bit of a mining session for some sand because we're going to definitely need some sand. So a couple things we're going to need is we're going to need our scoops, which I think there's one more over here. Yeah. We're going to need our scoops, and we're going to need some empty shulker boxes, which are in this one. We're going to take 5. And we'll map out that corner as well. It's a 12 section 12 segment or 12 map segment, if I can learn to speak. So the other thing we're going to do is clear up these shulker boxes because we want to have resources in our ender chest just in case we need them. We're going to also take one of those, and we also want one map from over here. I think we'll take this one just so that we can get a general idea of where to start when we map out, or sorry, 16. It's not 12. I did 12 map segments a little while ago to get to the point where there's 16 remaining on all 4 corners, meaning there's 64 maps remaining to finish this big 15 by 15 map. This is just to see what we've got going. I probably should update that, shouldn't I? There we go. Got it all updated, so it looks normal now. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and head that way, and I will see what I can do to get a aerial time lapse, or we'll figure something out for a time lapse. But I think that a time lapse would suit this episode very well. So we're gonna head over there, and we'll be right back.
It's too cold, standing in the middle of the downpour, looking in the mirror, cause it's only you that you have to lose. Headed backward on a one-way, trying to stop from running, but you can't wait. Bury all the evidence you'll only learn when you crash and burn. It's too cold, standing in the middle of the downpour, looking in the mirror, cause it's only you that you have to lose. Headed backward on a one-way, trying to stop from running, but you can't wait. Bury all the evidence you'll only learn when you crash and burn.
Okay, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed that time lapse. It was a little bit scuffed because of the fact that I don't have the ability to use replay mod right now. I am currently looking into it, so as soon as I have more information on whether or not I'll be able to do that, to use that, I will keep you guys posted. However, we got a pretty decent haul of resources. We got four and almost four and a half shulker boxes of sand. That should be plenty for now. The next thing we want to do, and I won't do it in this episode because this episode is drawing to a close. The house took me way longer to do than I anticipated. However, I am actually happy with the way this turned out. Just with how dark it was on the previous like build, it just didn't feel right building it the way I did. So I went back to our original uh like build style that we, I want to say, kind of are known for, but we're not really known for it because we're not really well known, to be honest. So that is going to be the end of today's episode. If you guys did enjoy this one, please do remember to smash the like button. And if you stuck around until the end, I can't thank you guys enough. And for those of you who are watching this in the way in the future, because I know people are like that. I did that with everything Mumbo has ever put out. Green, everybody. If you guys are watching this in the future, uh, I appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. And if you guys would be so kind as to subscribe if you haven't already, it'd be fantastic to see the subscriber count go up. And share it with your friends. Get my name out there. Get just the content in general out there. It would be absolutely amazing. But I will see you guys in the next one. Until the next time, guys, do not forget to stay frosty. Bye bye.